I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's do it to it, right?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, folks. Big week. Big, messy, chaotic sports week. So let's get right into it, huh? Knicks fans, first things first, I hope you got your therapist on speed dial. This team lives to stress us out, huh? One night they're rallying back down from 20, the next night they're rolling over and handing Haliburton a triple-double. Just do or die at the Garden, and because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Meanwhile, Mets fans, are we feeling all right now? Are we good? A few weeks ago, the sky was falling, but then, you take the series from the Dodgers, take the series from the White Sox, as you should, and now all of a sudden you're looking at the horizon, a bunch of teams to get real fat on, take the division lead back here. We got Game 5 tonight at the Garden. Yankees are cruising right along. The Thunder in the finals already, and the Soto slander is still going on. This is the kind of week where you don't rush it, you don't force it, you just ride the wave, and you speak your truth. So grab your coffee, grab your whiskey, headphones on, volume up, whether you're riding in the subway, you're stuck in traffic, or you're hiding from your boss at work. This one's for you. This is Rice on the Mics. Let's talk about it.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Old and young, rich and poor, boys and girls, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mecca of basketball, where the lights don't just shine, they blind. The Knicks are still alive. So let's set the scene. Game 4 in Indiana. This was supposed to be New York's response. They go down 2-1. They drop both games at home, backs against the wall. This is where the resilient team shows their mettle, and they get what they gave back at home. But instead, we got a goddamn nightmare. Hallie, he's got the historic game. He's got the game of his life. Drops a historic 32 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds. All while not having a single goddamn turnover all night. He's the first player to ever do that in playoff history. God, I'm getting Reggie Miller flashbacks. And not that Reggie ever did anything like that, but I can't stand him. He knows how to play the villain, and he's good at it. Oh, all right. Not to mention on top of it too, that Siakam, who's been a thorn in the Knicks side forever, dropped up 30. Just they looked lost and frustrated and outmatched. 17 turnovers on the night. That's unexcusable. And that speaks even more to like the rattled narrative that was going around. This, all the while, by the way, Brunson, Towns, and OG all had 20. But it clearly it wasn't enough. And Big Cat, hate to say it, he looked soft again in spots. And that's been a knock on him his whole career. He looked soft. Banged his knee. Looked like he was crying on the sideline. And I get it. Look, I don't know what the injury is, whatever. But it's not a good look. And then after the game in the interview, they go, oh, I guess they just wanted it more. We have to be more prepared. Way to throw Thibs under the bus on that, by the way. Final score, Pacers 130, Knicks 121, and a 3-1 series deficit. And Knicks fans they felt this magical season. You could feel it in the city. They just felt this season start to slip away. But, and there is a big old but, here's the beauty of playoff basketball. Every game is its own universe. And this team has proven time and time and time again that they do not quit. So, let's fast forward to Game 5. You could cut the tension in the air with a knife. So many Knicks fans were nervous and counting them out already. But something was different in the air. You felt it right from the tip-off. The Garden crowd, the real Garden crowd, not the business seats, not the bullshit. The real Garden crowd showed up tonight. They showed they weren't nervous, and they backed their boys. They were defiant, electric, loud. Any more adjectives you got? They put this heart in this team the way this team has put their heart in the game all season. And the crowd showed up for him tonight. And it showed. Brunson came out. Oh, God. He not even hot. Brunson came out blazing. 3 for 4 right away. 14 first quarter points. Towns battling that bruised knee. And, again, when he went down, crying on the sideline, there was a grumbling of, oh, shit. Here, there was a mix between, oh, shit, now what? And, come on, this guy is soft. But he gutted through it, played through the pain like every champion does, and they kept Indiana at bay. They played great defense, destroyed it in the paint. After surrendering a 43-point first quarter game, the Knicks locked down defensively and only gave up 45 points in the entire first half. 43 points in the first game, game 4. 45 in the half. This is a Pacer team that scores relentlessly, that scores like nobody's playing. Their defense is, oh, you scored? Okay, we'll go down and score faster. And Hallie was a shadow of himself. His game 4 performance, I give him full credit. That is a historic one-for-the-books performance. But tonight, 8 points, 6 assists. And he's known for that. He's known for a huge game and then a big stinker afterwards. But the Knicks defense was swarming. They were relentless. Shit, the bench. Yes, the bench on a Tibbs coach team, the bench. What got well involved. Fucking Benedict drops 23, and Indiana shot 40% from the field. That's well below their season average. Shit, it's well below their postseason average where they've been on fire. And that speaks even more to the defense play tonight. And like any good team that knows the job's not done, Brunson wasn't done. Came out of halftime, and he fucking exploded. 8 straight points from Brunson coming out of halftime. Pushed the Knicks to a 20-point lead. 20-point lead. We blew a 20-point lead. Said not tonight. You would have thought there was a goddamn earthquake in the Garden. Indiana did try to claw back halfway, but then Brunson comes down the court showing why he's the king of New York, and he slams it shut with a 4-point play going on a 12-0 run. I mean, Brunson finished with 32 points and hits the franchise record. 21 playoff games scoring over 30 points. Brunson, he's been on this team for 2 years, 3 years. He's got the franchise record for most 30-point games. Knicks bring it home like they're supposed to. Final score, Knicks 111, Pacers 94. This wasn't just a win tonight, guys. It was a statement. It was like it was the fuck you message. The Knicks aren't done yet, and we're not going anywhere. And now the series headed back to Indiana for Game 6. Oh, that pressure's starting to loom on the Pacers, isn't it, man? It's starting to boil in, and I'm like, shit, we better close now. We better close at home because, God forbid, you got to go into that death pit back in MSG for a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since '99. You want to talk about a hot ticket. You want to talk about a hot crowd. The pressure. Here's the thing about pressure. It's a funny beast, and it's a dangerous beast. Suddenly, now, Indiana's the one on the ropes. Indiana's the one receiving the end of it. If the Knicks bring that same defensive intensity and that Brunson bravado in Game 6, this Game 7 might be one for the ages. I mean, you want electric? You want loud? How about 20,000 people screaming at you, Knicks in 7? I mean, 7th Ave might as well have been a riot. The hardwood is going to be shaking. Absolutely anything can happen in Game 7. So if you're not hyped up now as a Knicks fan, you're probably dead in a grave, to be totally honest with you. But first things first, you got to go win Game 6 in Indy. And look, it's not an easy ask, especially against a Pacers team that they didn't lose 3 games in a row all year. That's a quiet stat for them. But these Knicks, man, they thrive on tough asks. They embrace impossible. Because New York, the way this city is built, impossible is just another game night. Oh, all right. Shake that out. Now that the adrenaline in me has calmed down a little bit from the Knicks, let's do a quick little check-in elsewhere in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder are headed to the finals for the first time since 2012. Yes, that 2012. With KD, with Russ, and Harden. Yes, that conference finals against the Spurs with Tim Duncan, Manu, and fresh out of the womb baby Kawhi Leonard. Only for them to win that series and then go up against the original big three of Wade, Bron, and Bosh and give Bron his first ring. And that team was good. Shit, they might have had 3 Hall of Famers on that team, and that's not including Serge Ibaka and the post-career number 1 Knicks fan, number 1 Knicks supporter, building all the bridges and burning all the ones in Boston, Kendrick Perkins. But that team isn't this team. That team had a little diva-ism to it. Katie and Russ had egos battling back and forth, and they were friendly, but, you know, one was worried about more shots than the other. And Harden was in the background sitting there claiming, like, I'm the best point guard, man. Remember when he moved to Houston after that? It was like chaos. And then he put up 28 free throws a night. I mean, this team, this OKC team, that's not them. They're young, and they kind of all came up together. They have this, like, real deal family style camaraderie that GMs would, by the way, absolutely, they would cut their pinky off to have the kind of camaraderie that this basketball team has. To quote a great baseball movie, For the Love of the Game, they're just young enough and just cocky enough to not understand the magnitude of the situation. So what do? They go on to dismantle the Timberwolves in Game 5. 124-94. SGA drops 34 and took home the Western Conference Finals MVP. Great addition to his trophy case. Next to, by the way, his league MVP trophy. And Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, they add their fingerprint to the game too. They just do whatever they want. This team is young. They're deep. They're hungry. And on top of it, they got home court in the finals. Doesn't matter who they play, Knicks or Pacers. No small task who they beat either. There wasn't like just a Wolves team that they kind of like limped into the finals. They were the second hottest team all year behind OKC. And it looked like Randall and Edwards and Gobert, like it looked like that combo was really like clicking. And they could get it done, and Ant-Man was going to be the man, and Randall was putting up his 28 and 10 and da-da-da-da. But OKC cut through them like Swiss cheese. It was a heavyweight fight. And any boxing fan out there knows styles make fights. The big reason OKC had the handle on the series, the whole series, the Wolves all year had turnover issues. I mean, no surprise there with Julius Randle. I'm kidding. I'm just taking a shot, take a shot. But the Wolves had bad turnover issues all year. And OKC all season led the league on turnover points. So it was just the plank of wood meets the buzzsaw. It was just a bad matchup for the Wolves. So we'll see how they end up next year. But that leads me into my next point. This offseason is going to be wild. It's going to be a wild one in the NBA. Look, I'm predicting most teams won't even be recognizable by September. I'll go down the list. First of all right, LeBron has a player option, and he opted out because, of course, he wants money. But, let's be real. He's not gonna not play with Luka. So, but it's at least not worth mentioning. Just, if anything does happen. Probably won't, but whatever. Kyrie has a player option, but injured most of the year. But I don't think he's going to pass up the opportunity to do a pick and roll with AD and Cooper Flag. Tatum's going to be injured for most of the year. So does Boston just roll over and take their lumps, or do they move some guys and make the money work? Because, not to mention money, they're going to be so far over the soft cap, it would make the Dodgers blush. That's how much money they have tied up. Harden, player option. Julius Randle, player option. Clint Capella, free agent. Domantas Sabonis, player option. Karis LeVert, free agent. Dennis Schroeder, free agent. Steven Adams, free agent. Not to mention, Giannis is going to be the hot ticket trade item for every team. And then once he falls, it's going to be KD and Devin Booker, more than likely. They're the next trade items because the Suns don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's even some rumblings already about Drew Holiday getting moved out of Boston. And the draft coming around. Guys move all over the place in the draft. It feels like this year is the year to really capitalize on winning the title. Because moving forward, the landscape of the NBA is going to be radically different. So when opportunity comes knocking, make sure you open the door. So after all that, let's talk some baseball, because both teams in New York are giving us plenty to chew on, just in some different flavors of sunflower seeds. So let's start uptown, huh? Yankees. They're rolling. They're doing exactly what good teams do, and that's handling business. Judge is out here nearly hitting 400. And that's apparently on him on an off day. I mean, come on. He's just doing it while casually reminding us all what an MVP looks like. He threw that line that, like, I don't even feel great at the plate line. Get the hell out of here. I mean, he's leading the league in basically everything. And Judge isn't just carrying, like, a dead roster. Okay? You got Goldschmidt giving professional, solid, proving why he's an all-time first ballot at-bats. Okay, he's hitting 347. 347. I had said anything other than Rizzo would be better, but you got two guys flirting with 400 average in your lineup. And the other bats in the lineup are staying consistent too. I mean, Volpe is quietly starting to realize that he's not a home run hitter. Guy ran into 20 home runs and he tried to swing his ass out of the ball. No, you're a fast contact shortstop. Okay? That's what you need to be. And if he starts to learn that, he's got potential to really grow into something special. Not to mention Ben Rice, not to mention Dominguez. Belly's starting to come around. Everybody's doing their jobs, and they're learning how to hit behind one of, if not the best hitter in the league in Judge. Like, people talk about the Soto effect, and guys get better because of him. Well, guys get better because of Judge, too. This team is balanced, man, and they're doing it on both sides of the ball. You got Rodon being a straight-up ace, which who had that? 10 strikeouts the other night against the Angels. He's being the 1A that he was signed to be behind Cole when they signed him. And for a little while there, it looked a little shaky. The first year or so, you didn't think he was going to live up to that. You were worried about him. And he's been holding it down with authority at the front of the rotation. And speaking of ace, Max Fried, who has always been good. I will sing praises by seeing him in the NL for so long against the Mets. He has always been good. He's always had nasty stuff. And he does have that thing going for him that, like, when you transfer from league to league, from NL to AL or whatever, that this is probably that batter's first time ever seeing you. And it doesn't help that Max Fried has some nasty stuff. But he's been lights out. He hasn't just been good. He's been lights out. And that's what being a real ace is. Like, stopping the bleeding. They call him the stopgap. Did you know that after a Yankees loss and he pitches, his ERA is a .79? That's a .79. That's what you're looking at. And again, God forbid Cole was there too. They might not just have the best record in the AL. They might be running away with it. And they don't have the best record in the AL right now because of what Detroit's doing, that craziness going on in Detroit. All of a sudden, Javi Baez went from swinging at shit in the other batter's box, and now he's hitting .330 playing center field. Okay, sure. But the Yankees, they finally feel like a team again. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I got to give props where props are due, man. You don't hear that Cashman narrative anymore, that Cashman doesn't know what he's doing and he can't build a team and he's been here for too long and you need a change of voice in the upper. You don't hear any of that shit anymore. None of it. Funny how winning fixes everything, right? But let's not act like this is happening in a vacuum either. Because what if they did sign Soto? None of this looks the same. You don't have Goldie. You don't have Fried. You don't have Bellinger. And you're probably still throwing Clark Schmidt in big spots. Shit, maybe DJ is playing third, or he's playing second, or he's playing first. Again, on a leg and a prayer. And by the way, he only just came back up he missed the first 2 months. He only just came back up like a couple weeks ago. So you'd be patching things together. You sure as hell weren't getting the breakout from Oswaldo Cabrera if he's buried behind Soto. That's the twist here. And I hate to say it, and Yankee fans don't want to hear me say it, but you needed Soto to walk. That decision, whether it was mutual or not, or whatever happened in discussions, it's what opened the door for this current version of the Yankee teams. And as a Met fan, listen, I wouldn't change a thing. Thank you, actually. I'm so happy. I want Soto on my team more than anything in the world, and thanks for having him. I'm so happy I'm with him for the next 15 years. So let me tell you why. Let's flip the jersey, okay? The Mets, look, I know. It hasn't been perfect. But listen, hear me out. They just took the series from the defending champion with Dodgers, Yankee fans, and then they walked off the White Sox on Memorial Day. That's another series. Sango looks great. Shit, the whole rotation looks great. Pete is breaking out of that home run drought. He's starting to look better. Lindor is always great. McNeil is good. Marte, I would put. If it was Thanksgiving and Marte had a bat in one hand and a turkey leg in the other, I know Marte would get a hit. Beatty's coming alive. Look, Soto, yeah, he's been struggling a little bit, but he comes through when he's needed, and he's always on base. He's always getting the walk. He's always doing what he has to do. Okay, he finally punched back with a nice bases-loaded double to win the game not too long ago. Look, I'm not ignoring the runners in scoring position thing. That's all everybody wants to talk about. They're bottom 5 in the league in runners in scoring position, but they're 12 games over 500. The Mets are leading the league in rotation ERA. They're creating traffic. And ready for this? The Mets schedule is about to get real friendly. You got 3 against the Rockies, and then, okay, a little 4-gamer at the Dodgers. That's not easy, sure. But then you got another Rockies set, then the Nationals, and then the Rays. This is the stretch to build the cushion. This is the stretch to take the division league back. It's not panic time in Queens, guys. It's time to bank some wins and assert your dominance. And look, if the worst thing that you can say about Soto right now is that he's not meeting these impossible expectations that fans set, then you know what? That means this guy still has another gear to hit. Batting .224 isn't great. Of course. We all know that. But his OPS is still through the roof. So let's relax. Remember Lindor's first season in Queens? You don't. But it was fucking worse than this. It was terrible. Everybody wanted to run him out of town. Year 2, a little more of the same. But then he figured it out, and he flipped the switch. And now every Met fan can't wait to crown him captain. At the David Wright ceremony, when they retire his number, they're hoping that David Wright says, and now on to my future captain of the team, Francisco Lindor. Which, by the way, he is my captain. Okay? Keith Hernandez, David Wright, and Francisco Lindor. Look, Soto is too good to not figure this out. He's barreling balls up, and he's finding gloves. It sucks. He's gonna come around. This is baseball. Anybody who's ever played the game knows that sometimes it's just brutal luck, and he's catching heat that he wouldn't be catching in pinstripes. That's what bothers me the most. If he stayed with the Yankees and struggled like this, we'd be calling it a slow start, or he just needs a little correction, or it's a little bit of a World Series hangover, yada, 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 all that garbage. But because he chose the Mets, now it's a bad attitude. Now the contract he's overpaid, it wasn't worth it. Now he can't handle the pressure. Now he's not gelling with the team. Spare me all that bullshit. It's so stupid. I get it. It's okay to be jilted. You don't think I was mad that DeGrom went for more money? Went to Texas? It is what it is, man. It's a business. He's still Juan Soto. He's gonna still deliver. So I think the better question is, would the Yankees be where they are right now if they kept him? Because if we're being honest, they're lucky that the division, and the league for that matter, in general, is hot garbage. Tampa always chokes. The Red Sox are more worried about Devers not playing first than they are actually about hitting the goddamn ball. And the Orioles, they don't know their fucking ass from the elbow. They got all the talent in the world, and a manager that don't know what they're doing, and a new owner that doesn't know you got to buy some pitching every now and then. So the Yankees would have no Fried, no Goldie, no Bellinger, no Cole or Gill to fall back on when the injuries did hit. It's a different world. And I'm not sure it's a better one if you did have Soto. So look, whether you're backing the Bronx or believing in Queens, take a second, okay? Keep some perspective. Appreciate the path your team took and that they are exactly where they're supposed to be. Both are building something. They're just doing it in their own way. Both teams are chasing October birds. And the bottom line is, if you like baseball, it's a great time to be a New York fan, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on. So let's take a breath and zoom out. Memorial Day isn't just about burgers and bunts. It's the real first checkpoint in the MLB season. Okay? Memorial Day, 4th of July, trade deadline, Labor Day. Those are the big four. And we're 50 plus games in. And that's enough of a sample size to separate the real from the mirages. So let's check some of the standings, the big names, and some of those preseason betting slips that I gave you guys if you've been listening from the jump. First things first, division leaders, AL East, Yankees, no surprise. They got it's 7-8 game lead, but it might as well be a 30-game lead. They got a cyborg in right field hitting .397. The Central, the Tigers are backed by a monster pitcher and a good enough bullpen, and they got some hitters finding some new life, which is good for them. Best record in baseball, by the way. AL West, Mariners, they get look, on paper, they have the best potential pitching in the league, but they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a goddamn boat. And now the Stros are only a game behind them. So I wouldn't get comfy if I were them. NL East, the Phillies have taken the lead in the division, but they were currently playing the stretch that now the Mets are playing. They went on this good run from the Rockies and the White Sox and this, that, and the other. So, Mets are 2 games behind, and Acuna and the Braves, Acuna back with the Braves. Things are about to get pretty interesting in the NL East. The Central, the Cubs are, on paper, they're not running away with it, but they're running away with it, in my opinion. I mean, PCA might be winning them more than just games. He's building some faith back in this Cubs team, which that Cubs fan base is wild. So, and that kind of hurts, to be honest, as a Met fan, since that's who we put in that trade for Javi Baez. So you love that. And the NL West, the Dodgers are leading right now, despite their IL looking like a fucking triage tent. But they continue to plug along. And it's actually a lot closer than most people had it. They only have a 2-game lead on the Padres and a 3-game lead on the Giants. So everybody thought the Dodgers were going to run away cleanly with the division. They didn't have it as right as they thought they would. Early favorites for MVP and Cy Young. I mean, Judge, AL MVP. It's Judge, and then it's a big, long gap in the list, and then it's everybody else. And NL MVP, it's kind of between Golden Boy Ohtani, who, by the way, has 20 home runs already. They've only played 56 games. He's got 20 home runs. And I don't know. Maybe a pitcher, maybe PCA. I don't know. We'll see. NL MVP is kind of up in the air, but Ohtani's probably going to run away with it. AL Cy Young, Skubal he's definitely running away with it as of right now. 92 strikeouts already, 4 straight 10-plus Ks. Guy's a legit ace. And NL Cy Young, looking not to be a homer, but Senga getting no love. He's my pick at least. He's quietly one of the most consistent arms in the league. Yeah, he's on a six-man rotation, but when he's good, no one can touch him. So while we're doing benchmarks, we'll check on some of the player prop bets that I gave you earlier in the year before the season started. Just to keep everybody honest here, Pete Alonso, the number was 40. We took the over. He's at 11, still within pace. He needs a heater a little bit, but I expect him to go on one. Tucker, he's got 12 right now. The number was 30. Number looks solid. As long as the wind doesn't get him too bad at home, Tucker is a monster. And Belly, Cody Bellinger, he's at 8 right now, but the number was 21, which I thought was really low. The short porch in Yankee Stadium, I expect him to get a couple cheap shots. He should hit that number, no problem. Strikeouts-wise on the year, Hunter Brown is at 79. We took over 164. He should be feeling pretty good as long as he can stay healthy. He should hit about 200, to be honest with you. Same thing with Skubal. Skubal's at 92 right now and probably going to win the Cy Young as long as he stays healthy. The number was 197, so he's way ahead of schedule. The only one that should worry a little bit is Zach Gallen. He's at 66 strikeouts. The number was 163, so he's kind of on pace. You're just hoping Arizona stays hot enough and he stays upright, but the stuff is ace, so he should be all right too. So what does it all mean, right? Well, here's what it means. You don't win the division in May, but you can lose them. So if you're sitting top of the standings right now, the bar's been raised and the bar's been set. You hope for the best. You hope the teams do well, and we'll see where we're at come July 4th. That's when the ball starts flying and you start relying on your pitcher's arms a little more. And that's where the contenders start separating themselves from the pretenders. Listen, I know we're running a little long on time here, but I like to think you guys want to hear my voice and enjoy my takes. So let's talk some football real quick. Because, man, if you're a Jets fan right now, you're feeling pretty good. Well, at least I am. And that's rare air, folks. Justin Fields walked into Florham Park for voluntary OTAs like he owned the place. And that's so nice to see. Instead of a QB missing it because of a trip to Egypt. Look, I know it's all hype, and every coach is going to say, I have the best player in the league, and I have blah, 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 blah. But the new Jets OC, he really seems to be connecting with Fields. I mean, he's calling him phenomenal. Phenomenal? Okay. Look, it's nice to hear. He's saying he's mentally sharp, fully immersed. It's finally looking like the guy we thought he would be when Chicago drafted him in 21. And he's got a big chip on his shoulder, man. That's what you want. He's now on his third team in 4 years. It's time to put up or shut up for him, and he knows that. And Aaron Glenn's squad believes in him. Fields is out here saying the sky's the limit, and week 1 versus Steelers, his old team, no extra emotion. That's the right thing to say. But come on, kid. You know you're going to have some trouble sleeping the night before. Imagine throwing 3 touchdowns and running in 2 for yourself. You ain't fooling anyone. You are circling that game in bright red ink. So, Jet fans, look, I think I'm ready to go ahead and say it. Go ahead and buy the Fields jersey. Maybe skip the tattoo for now. But I would say go ahead and buy the jersey, man. I think we might be onto something here. And while the Jets dream about having a quarterback, Dolphins fans, oh boy. Definitely some nightmares going on over in Miami. They are cleaning house. Not quietly, loudly and aggressively. And however they want to frame it, it's a fucking fire sale. Jonnu Smith, one of their best offensive weapons, gone. Traded to Pittsburgh. I don't even know what they got back, to be honest with you. But he's now back with his old offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, who loves him and knows how to use him. And then not to mention, he just came off a Pro Bowl season. So he's hitting his stride and going back to his old offensive coordinator. Dolphin fans are going to be sick when they see, I don't know, I guess maybe the jugs machine throwing the ball to him because Steelers still don't have a quarterback and they're still doing that dance with Rodgers. But that's a story for a different day. Suddenly, Miami's offense that was this juggernaut, high power, run the ball like crazy, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, it's looking real thin, man. And that's bad, especially for a coach who is kind of fighting back some allegations of these can't he coach a team? Like he's a player's coach, but is he getting too wrapped up in it? And he's not a defensive coach, he's an offensive coach. So now you're taking a Pro Bowl weapon away from him? That's not good. Tyreek had a terrible year last year, and not terrible, but terrible by his standards. And he's making more noise off the field than he is on the field these days. They're shopping Jalen Ramsey. They already kicked out Calais Campbell. Teron Armstead's gone. This isn't like a retool, man. This isn't like we had to cut some salary cap. This is a full-on teardown, man. Look, I'm not going to shed any tears for you because it's go Jets all day. But this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So, Dolphin fans, buckle up and honestly, maybe find another sport for a little while this tough transition year for you guys happens. And hey, speaking of transitions, see what I did there? Here's one, well, 2 actually, that I just couldn't leave out of my maybe we'll get to pile while I'm building my notes all week. Surprise, Pete Rose, now that he's dead, is officially off the baseball's permanently banned list. Yeah, too little, too late, guy. And honestly, that's kind of a sentence that thought I'd never say. I thought even that maybe when he died, they might just still be dicks about it. But hey, the path to Cooperstown might finally be clear for Charlie Hustle here. Oh, and Shoeless Joe Jackson too, because if you do one, you got to do the other, right? So I don't know. Manfred, he was like, oh, he said it was time and blah blah blah, but I don't know. It's kind of a cop out because everyone in smart baseball circles knew that once he died, he'd probably get eligible posthumously. In my opinion, that's garbage. But look, I can understand why it was done like that, but it's still garbage. Look, Pete Rose, say what you want about Barry, say what you want about any of the steroid guys, whatever. Pete Rose wasn't that guy. He just did the ultimate no-no and gambled on the sport. And that's the one thing baseball players know not to do. You can never gamble on your sport. But he's forgotten more hitting than any one of us combined will ever learn in our life. So, look, not to say that he wasn't he wasn't a hard ass, because he was a tough son of a bitch, and maybe, look, to be an athlete, especially not even just a professional athlete at the level that Pete Rose was, you have to be an asshole. You have to have that big ego. I mean, he's got one of the best lines of all time. When Ichiro hit 3,000 for MLB hits, some colonist somewhere had said, like, oh, well, if you count his Japan hits too, he would be over 5,000 hits. And Rose, not missing a beat, he goes, oh, should we start counting my my high school hits too? I mean, that sentence alone sums it up as how Pete Rose was. Look, it took him long enough, but I don't know. Will the Hall of Fame follow through? Will the voters follow through? They're fucking pain in the ass. But 2027, man, mark it down. And speaking of rare occurrences, we are going to get a Stanley Cup Finals rematch, folks. Yeah, hockey fans, I know you're out there. I know I don't cover you much. I'll jump on the Rangers or the Islanders here and there, but, it's Stanley Cup Finals time. They get their due. And we're getting a good one. The best hockey player on the planet, Connor McDavid, and yes, the best hockey player on the planet. Put it in baseball terms, if McDavid and Judge both played the same sport, McDavid would be 1 and Judge would be 1A. That's how good McDavid is. But I just don't think a lot of people watch him. He's in Edmonton. Games come on like people don't. Hockey's, you're either into hockey or you're not into hockey. It's tough. But look, the Oilers, they go back. They get another shot at fucking Bobrovsky, and the Panthers. God, I hate Florida. But we got some deja vu going on in the NHL, man. So place your bets, buckle your helmets, and let's get ready to get drunk out of the world's most prestigious cup here. Okay, folks. Guess it's about time to land this plane. A lot of miles today. But a lot of ground covered, too. That's the whole point of this, though, isn't it? Knicks fans, job ain't finished yet. Game 6 at Indy, then Game 7 at the Garden. Are you kidding me? We're talking legacy, folks. This is why you put up with the pain, the heartache, for the nights like that. Mets and Yankee fans, look, we're both sitting pretty. Mets, time to get fat against bad teams and start believing in Juan Soto, because I promise you he is coming. Yankee fans, enjoy the pivot, the flexibility you have. Shit, enjoy Aaron Judge chasing history again. Just be grateful Soto isn't your problem, okay? Jet fans, smile. Dolphin fans, deep breaths. Got Oilers, Panthers running it back for the Stanley Cup. That's going to be a good one. And Pete Rose back in baseball conversation. Shit, that proves anything can happen. We got plenty more on tap next week and forever weeks. Make sure you hit me up on the Instagram. That's at Rice on the Radio, RiceonTheRadio. Slide into them DMs like I know you want to. Get involved. Rate the podcast if you enjoy the content. Really helps build the show. And we do a Wednesday mic check every week. The hotline is always there to call into. I got every facet you want. 732-588-6869. You guys know the drill by now. Till next time, stay safe, tell someone you love them, and spread good energy in this world. This is Rice on the mics, and I'm out.